Good morning, Friday, May 24th, 2024. Here I am, back at the dacha. And what am I going to do today? Well, I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you. Well, it looks like I got to mow the lawn. So the dandelions are coming up. So I need to do that. But before I start mowing the lawn, I got to do something else. I'm going to start by scratching this out right here. So you can see that it's a little bit high right here. So last year when I was scratching this area out, I did not take it all the way up to the drainage ditch. So I'm going to take this off, and I still need to do this entire area right in here because it's really hard mowing. You could see the holes that are here and whoop-de-doos, that's what I call them. So the lawn blade just keeps chewing away at the ground. Like here's a circle right here. Anyways, I'm gonna have to straighten that out, but it's not gonna take a day. It might take a whole weekend to do this. In the meantime, while I'm working here, the grass will dry out a little bit because I could feel the moisture. I touched the grass and it was still wet. So that's what I got planned for today, is making more lawn, and then I'm gonna cut the grass. And that's that. So I got my radio all set up. Usually when I'm working, if it's not with the lawnmower, if I'm just shoveling away, I have my radio going. And that way it's not as lonely because it's really, really quiet here. The only thing is that I always have to stop the radio before I do any of my recordings, because if I do any of the recordings and if there's a song playing, then it goes to a copyright and I can't use it in my videos. So that's about the only inconvenience. So I'm going to be working away over here, and my radio is playing over there. All right, let's go to work. Okay, so this area right here is scratched out. That was 5 wheelbarrow loads, just skimming off the top. But I'm going to show you the problem that I'm running into. It was last year and this year. Check this out. Here is a piece of rebar right here that I missed from last year, so I got to pull it out. So when there were raised beds all over here, the edges of the raised beds had 2x6s that were pinned down with the rebar. So I pulled out so many of them last year. All these little short guys, they were in the ground last year. That's just part of them. There's so many more. We use them as markers now all over the place. So this section that I'm getting into, I pulled out most that I could see, but even as you're scraping away, some of the rebar pins have gone underground, or they're flush to the ground. You can't really notice them until you start digging. So definitely it's a pain, but I gotta pull them out, and I gotta make sure that they're not gonna be a hazard to people walking or whatever. Anyways, let's get back to work. This rebar pin is just sucked right in. So what you see here is there's topsoil on top, but right below it is clay. And once these pins are in the clay, they just get sucked right in. So I'm using the shovel to get around it, and now I gotta go with this little hand trowel, shovel, whatever you call it, and I gotta dig around it and try pull it out. Okay, finally pulled this guy out. I mean, look at the size of it. Why would anybody bury them so deep? And the thing is, it was only like this, maybe 3-4 centimeters left to go. And you have to go through all this work. It takes like, what, 20-25 minutes just to pull this guy out. So frustrating, but it's out. Now I don't have to worry about it and can keep moving on. But it's just frustrating that as you're working along and you come across one of these pins and work stops for the next little while. All right, let's add one more to the trophy chest. All right, let's get back to work. Let's cover this up and keep moving. Okay, so everything is scratched out, raked, and any of the grass and weeds and whatever, here they are. This is the last wheelbarrow load. I also took out from that side over there because when I was digging the ditch for the drainage, I was even throwing some on that side. So I got to haul it away. Anyways, so once I haul this wheelbarrow load of just weeds and stuff, I'm going to bring the roller and roll everything out. And I plan on seeding it right away. All right, let's take the weeds away. This is where I'm hauling all the weeds and the dirt and whatever. And over here, I actually transplanted a few of these flowers. And I don't know, let's see what happens. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. Big deal. But if it does, I don't know, it'll look cool. Just let's let nature take over and see what happens. Anyway, so the berm is coming along and I'm going to start cutting the grass right now. So I'm going to bring the grass clippings into here and just start laying everything down. And then later when I start building more grass area, I'm just going to bring more of the weeds and dirt and whatever and build up this berm. And there it is. All right, let's go mow the lawn now. Okay, the lawn is mowed. Let's turn the camera around, show you what it looks like. Here it is, much better than it looked earlier on. And the grass over here is starting to grow. I gave it the first run with the lawnmower, so that's good. So yeah, everything is cut for the weekend. Now I'm going to fuel up the lawnmower and get it ready for next week so that the fuel is in there, and then you just fire it up and start cutting again. I figured that, you know, I'm gonna do a little bit more work before I go home, so I'm gonna turn the camera around. I'm gonna show you what I got planned. Okay, so I took out my little handsaw and the little hand snips, and I'm gonna prune my little trees here. And all these little trees, plus over there when I was mowing, there were some dead limbs. So just buck them off. Logging term. Yeah, right there, that birch, I can actually shape it while it's young. So that'll be good. So I just walk around, and if there's any branches that are dead, I will find them and snip them off, put them in the wheelbarrow, and take it to the burn pile. Okay, that's one wheelbarrow load going into the burn pile. Doesn't take much. That right there took about 15-20 minutes, and it's all dead branches. You just come up to them, you touch them, and they just break off. So it helps the tree that all the dead branches will be taken away. All right, let's go and get another load. Okay, let's get a closer look at what I'm actually cutting here. Let's turn the camera around, I'll show you. Okay, so I'm going after branches like this. This one right here, it's dead. So I'm gonna cut it off. And these right here, I'm gonna trim them so that they're not hanging low. Like this one right here, I can just snip it off somewhere about there. And over here, even though this one is alive, but I'm gonna cut it right there. It's just that when you're mowing the lawn or if you're walking, it's right at the head length. It's like, boom. And over here, this little pine tree, I can take a round, meaning the round of branches. There's about 5 branches there. They're actually really low and giving too much shade here. So what I want to do is cut it or cut them, and it'll make it also easier when you're mowing the lawn. All right, let's get to work. Oh, and these guys right here, these little shooters, I gotta also buck them off. That's another logging term. Okay, let's go to work. Okay, so now this looks much better. So I took it from there to there, so I lifted it up a bit. That tree right there, all the low branches that were sticking out, I trimmed them. Now it's more streamlined. And the canopy is at a height that won't interfere when I'm mowing. And of course, over here, these shooters, I cut them off, and of course, trimmed over there and trimmed over here. So some of the branches were leaning down, so I trimmed the branches that were going down, and it lifted up the branch. And what do we got here? Holy, we got another wheelbarrow load. Okay, and these ones right here, this is from the pine tree. So right there that I cut at that line. So instead of throwing it into the burn pile, I'm actually going to save them, let them dry out, and we'll cut them up for firewood. That right there would be about, I don't know, 2-3 hours worth of heat in the winter time. So there it is. Let's maximize what we can get out of all this, and at the same time make the place nicer. All right, let's see what else do we got to do. Okay, I got 2 more quick jobs to do before I leave today. I want to water this down, and then I want to plant the grass seed. And then once that is done, I just want to give a quick rundown of water. Pour, pour, pour. Water, water, water. All the areas that I planted, even the lawn feature. Just make sure it gets some water. And then I will drag the hose over and I will give some water to this area right here. Okay, because the grass seed was planted yesterday, and it's got to make sure it gets enough moisture so that the seeds can take root. All right, there it is. Let's go to work. Okay, what time is it right now? It is around 5:30, 6 o'clock. So it's the later end of the day, and I figure if I spend maybe another 45 more minutes, I'll be satisfied that everything is completed today. All right, let's go to work. Okay, I finished watering the grass here. I'm done with that. And now, what do I got here? Well, I got this water, and I'm gonna water the strawberries. I'm already giving them a second dose here. And the tomatoes. So I've already watered them, I don't know, about an hour and a half ago. I figured since I'm going, I'll give them another little drizzle. And right here, the radish. And they like the water. We'll give them the water. And why not with the lettuce? Sure. Let's get everything. Okay, and whatever is left with the peppers. I don't know, do I have enough to get right through to the end? Oh well, they already had their water. And we're done. Okay, I am done and I'm ready to go home. I've accomplished everything what I set out to do. I mowed the lawn. I watered the grass. I trimmed or pruned the trees. What else did I do? I can't remember. Oh, I built a little bit of a grass section. Got some lilacs. Smell nice. Put this on our table, on our kitchen table. And that's it. Now I'm going to go home, relax, spend some time with my boys, and I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll figure that out tomorrow. Anyways, take care. Thank you for watching. Пока-пока.